Hi everyone, Michelle here from Live Simply. I'm in a lot of Cricketing groups, Tumblr groups, laser cutting groups, where a lot of people have questions on how to specifically make outsets or offsets on Inkscape. So I wanted to make a really quick tutorial just to show you guys how easy it is. I used to be afraid of Inkscape too. I'm actually more of a Photoshop girl. The thing I don't like about Photoshop is that I can never save things as SVGs. So I know the easiest way for me to probably go about things is just to get Illustrator and learn it that way, but Inkscape is free, so that's what I really like about it. So I know a lot of you guys have that and it's more accessible to you guys instead of getting Illustrator. So to start off, assuming you have Inkscape downloaded, there's a few tips I'm going to give you. If you run through a Mac iOS, you're going to have to run Inkscape through Xcorts, which I'm not really that tech savvy, so I couldn't tell you the specifics on why you have to run Xcort. My understanding is that Inkscape is a Windows program, so you basically have to, it kind of like bridges the gap of a Windows and Inkscape program, and it lets you run that software through your Mac. I don't know, that was probably confusing. That's how I understand it in my head. So assuming you guys have Inkscape downloaded, I'll link below how to download it for Mac. It's a little bit more confusing, and I found this page that helped me out. Assuming you guys have it downloaded, let's get started. So I have an image I made in Photoshop, and it's just a simple image. It's the PNG right here. Ignore that SVG. I actually already tried to film this tutorial and I forgot I didn't hit record on my screen recording. So make sure you hit the PNG, the JPEG, whatever you have saved from either the SVG you already have from somewhere else, from either the image you already have from somewhere else, or you've designed somewhere else in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and make that bigger. Okay. So personally, I like to see my whole canvas. There we go. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is, I have my image. It says Live Simply, that's my shop's name. I'm gonna go ahead and click that. Make sure it's selected. I'm gonna go ahead and trace this. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying the correct terminology, but in my mind it's tracing. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Path, Trace, Bitmap. Oh, I guess it is called tracing. Sorry you guys, I do this so much that I just click buttons. I don't really read what I'm actually typing at this point. Okay, so I like to click Live Preview right here just so I can see what I'm doing. You're gonna focus right here on this brightness cutoff. I always leave this between like 45, sometimes I go up to 60. It just depends on the image you're working with. This image isn't going to need that much because it's already in black and white. It's a clean image. Kind of how whenever you're uploading something to the Cricut Design Space, how it says if it's a simple image, a moderate image, difficult image. This one I would say is a simple image. So I'm going to go ahead and leave in 45 because it looks like it's fine. I mean, it looks a little blurry just on the preview, but it's gonna be fine. I think 45 is fine for your text. So I'm gonna hit OK. Notice on the back right here, it ended up selecting a smaller area. I'm gonna go ahead and X out of this. Make sure to only hit X once so you don't X out of the whole Inkscape. See? All right, so at this point you have two layers. Oh, where did it go? Alright, so you have two layers, you see that? So sometimes, and when I first started, I would get confused and I would accidentally delete the wrong layer. So I'm going to tell you how and what to pay attention to make sure you keep the correct layer. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab one. Notice how this one's transparent and you can see the line of the canvas, the end of the canvas behind it. That's the one you're going to keep. That's your SVG. This one, notice how the line's all around, and if I drag it, you're going to still not be able to see that line. So that's how you know that's the original image you started with. That's my PNG. I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete. And something to make a note of is if you're running this through your Mac, all of these shortcuts probably aren't gonna work because these are all shortcuts for Windows. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete to delete that layer. I'm gonna go ahead and drag my Live Simply that I want to keep up back to the canvas. Alright, so this right here, let's say you had something that you wanted to make an SVG. Personally, I think it's easier to do that instead of like trying to trace it and erase it, magic wand tool and everything like that in Design Space. If you just wanted to simply convert something to an SVG, this would be at the point that you stop. Super easy, you don't have to use a magic wand tool, it's the work's done for you. So you would go ahead and go to File and save that. But we're gonna make an offset, so I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and select Live Simply. I'm gonna go to Edit, and I'm gonna hit Duplicate. Alright, it doesn't look like much has happened, but it did duplicate. I knew that because I'm gonna go ahead and drag that top layer. Alright, so what I like to do is I'm gonna focus this one, I'm gonna put it out of my way, that's gonna be my top layer. This one's gonna be my back layer, which is gonna be my offset. So I like to change it to pink. That's just my favorite color. You pick whatever color you want down here. And we're gonna go ahead and offset that. So you're gonna go up here to Path. You're gonna go down to Outset. You're gonna click that. So let me go ahead and drag that top layer to show you what that looked like. And that's not thick enough for me. So you'll start getting used to what your preference is. I personally like it to be pretty thick. So I do it about 3 or 4 times. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it a second time. So again, I hit Path, Outset. You see it getting thicker. So I'm going to go again, Path, Outset, and that's 3 outsets, so let me go ahead and check what that looks like. That's pretty good. I'll do it one more time just to show you guys the possibilities. Path, Outset. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and line it up. I think that looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it like that. Alright, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and save this as an SVG. So I'm going to go up to File, Save As. Alright, I'm going to have to save it as Live Simply too because, as I told you, I already filmed this tutorial at 11:43. And I didn't hit record, so go ahead and save that. I am going to go to my Design Space. Ooh, ignore that. Alright, so then I'm going to switch over to Design Space. Doing this for Design Space because I feel like most people are going to use this video if they have a Cricut, since I'm almost positive on the Silhouette software you guys have this feature. I'm not sure though. I've never used it. Alright, there's your SVG. Alright, so something I noticed is I think I went up a little too high up on that top layer, but that's okay because you're gonna cut these two out separately, like your pink vinyl and your black vinyl, assuming you're doing the same colors as your example right here. But just to show you, you could easily ungroup these. And you have your 2 layers right here on Inkscape. It even carries over. So I think that looks good. I just put it a little lower. If you wanted to group that back in, you could. You don't have to. And that is it. You can... Oh, actually, you know what? You will probably want to regroup them because let's say I want to put this on a tumbler. And for me personally, I like to do my tumblers around like 3 inches by 3 inches, depending if it's like a 20 ounce. So you're going to want to keep that grouped so you don't accidentally mess up your measurements and make one too big or too small. It's just going to be easier in the long run. Don't weld them together, because if you weld them together, I'll tell you what's going to happen. That's going to happen, so don't do that. Let me go ahead and undo that. Alright, so you're going to keep them grouped together so you can change the size and it won't mess up either of your layers. They're going to stay proportionate to one another. And that is it. You're gonna go ahead and let's pretend I'm gonna cut this out. There it is. There's your black top layer. There's the pink bottom layer that's even thicker, so it's pretty cool because it goes ahead and separates your 2 layers. So that is it. Hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful. I know a lot of people have been asking how to do this, or they're just intimidated by Inkscape. I promise you guys, it's not that hard. Inkscape's free, so why not use it? I feel like it's a really great tool to have for your small business or your hobby if you need to use SVGs. If you found this helpful, make sure and comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing lets me know that you guys want more videos like this, and if you have any suggestions of what you want to see next, maybe we could do a tutorial on how to do an offset with a monogram, either a vine monogram or circle monogram. Just comment down below too. I'm gonna go ahead and add my social media handles below. I'd love for you to give me a follow and show me what you've made using this offset. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!